Hello everybody. If you want to see all the stories, content in full, please go to www.steveuk.blog. Thank you. Short story 799, The Salt and the Skyline, UpA Advanced. Arthur did not belong on a girder 200 metres above the pavement, yet there he sat, eating a lukewarm Cornish pasty. Below him, London was a blurred mosaic of red buses and grey slate, muffled by the relentless wind. At 64, most of his peers were eyeing retirement bungalows in Dorset, but Arthur was a master welder, one of the few people trusted with the intricate steel skeleton of the city's newest skyscraper. His apprentice, a jittery 20-something named Leo, sat 3 meters away, legs dangling over the abyss. Leo was staring at his phone, his thumb hovering over the screen with a focused intensity that made Arthur chuckle. "You're going to drop that, lad," Arthur shouted over the gale. "And if it hits a taxi down there, it'll go through the roof like a bullet." Leo looked up, his face pale behind his safety visor. "Just checking the weather, Artie. They say a storm's rolling in from the channel. We shouldn't even be up here." Arthur grunted, finishing the last of his pasty. He looked at the horizon, where the sky was bruising into a deep, sticky purple. He knew that colour. It wasn't just rain, it was the kind of pressure that made your joints ache and the air taste of copper. "One more seam," Arthur said, pointing to a massive joint where 2 primary beams met. "If we don't fuse that now, the oscillation in the wind will stress the temporary bolts. I'm not leaving this tonight knowing it might snap." They work in a synchronized dance of blue sparks and white heat. Arthur's hands were steady, guided by 40 years of muscle memory. He didn't see the city as a collection of offices and coffee shops. He saw it as a living organism held together by tension and gravity. As the first heavy droplets of rain began to hiss against the hot metal, the final bead of the weld was laid. It was perfect, a silver scar that would hold for a century. The storm broke with a sudden, violent crack of thunder. The crane above them groaned, and the world turned into a grey sheet of water. "Down! Now!" Arthur yelled. They scrambled towards the central core of the building, where the temporary external stairs were bolted. The wind was no longer a whistle. It was a roar that threatened to peel them off the steel. Leo slipped, his boots sliding on the wet metal, but Arthur's heavy, gloved hand caught him by the harness, yanking him back with surprising strength. They descended in silence, floor by floor, until they finally reached the muddy ground of the site. The adrenaline began to fade, replaced by the bone-deep cold of a London soak. Leo leaned against a concrete pillar, gasping for air. "I'm quitting," he panted. "I'm going to work in a bank or a bakery, somewhere with a ceiling." Arthur pulled off his helmet, revealing a shock of white hair. He looked back up at the tower, which was now partially swallowed by the clouds. Up there, hidden in the dark and the rain, was a piece of his work, a small hidden signature of fire and steel that would support thousands of people who would never know his name. "You won't," Arthur said, patting the young man's shoulder, "because tomorrow the sun will come out and you'll realize that everyone else is trapped down here. But we get to see how the world is actually put together." Leo looked up, following Arthur's gaze. He didn't say anything, but he didn't check his phone either. He just nodded, wiped the rain from his eyes, and followed the old man toward the neon lights of the nearest pub. Vocabulary notes: girders and beams. In the context of construction, a girder is a large horizontal iron or steel beam used for building bridges and the framework of buildings. It is the skeleton that supports the weight. Example: Arthur did not belong on a girder 200 meters above the pavement. Similar words: joist, smaller, used in floors and ceilings. Stanchion, a vertical support. Rafter, sloping beam in a roof. Usage tip: while beam is a general term, girder specifically implies a heavy-duty, load-bearing metal component. Oscillation. This refers to a regular rhythmic movement back and forth or up and down around a central point. In engineering, it often describes how tall buildings sway in the wind. Example: the oscillation in the wind will stress the temporary bolts. Similar words: vibration, faster, smaller movements. Sway, gentle, irregular movement. Fluctuation, used for data or prices. Usage tip: use oscillation when discussing physics, mechanical systems, or repetitive cycles. To dangle, to hang loosely or to swing freely, often in a precarious or casual way. In the story, it emphasizes the height and the lack of solid ground beneath the character. Example: legs dangling over the abyss. Similar words: suspend, more formal. Pendulous, hanging heavily. Swing, implies more movement. Usage tip: dangling often suggests a bit of danger or a relaxed attitude in a high place, e.g., dangling your feet in a pool. Relentless. Something that is relentless never stops, gives up, or weakens. It is often used to describe harsh conditions like weather, noise, or a person's determination. Example: muffled by the relentless wind. Similar words: incessant, unpleasant and never-ending. Unyielding, stiff and firm. Persistent, continuing despite obstacles. Usage tip: it carries a tone of intensity. A relentless person is very driven. Relentless rain is heavy and shows no sign of stopping. Adrenaline, a hormone secreted by the adrenal glands, especially in conditions of stress, increasing rates of blood circulation and breathing. In literature, it is used to describe the rush felt during a moment of high tension. Example: the adrenaline began to fade, replaced by the bone-deep cold. Similar words: thrill, the feeling. Excitement, fight or flight response. Usage tip: common idioms include being an adrenaline junkie, someone who loves extreme sports, or having your adrenaline pumping. Gap fill exercise. Choose the most appropriate word from the list below to complete the sentences. You may need to change the form of the word, e.g. making it plural or changing the verb tense. Word bank: girder, oscillation, dangle, relentless, adrenaline. After the marathon ended, the runner felt a sudden crash as the blank finally wore off, leaving her exhausted. The old rope bridge began to blank dangerously as the hikers crossed the narrow canyon. Rescue workers faced blank rain and mudslides while trying to reach the mountain village. Modern skyscrapers are designed to handle a certain amount of blank, so they can bend slightly during high winds without breaking. The construction crew used a massive crane to lift the steel blank into place for the new stadium roof. Answer key: adrenaline, the chemical rush fading after a period of high stress or effort. Oscillate, a rhythmic back and forth movement caused by the wind or weight. Relentless, constant, intense and showing no sign of stopping. Oscillation, the technical term for the swaying movement of a structure. Girders, the heavy horizontal steel supports. If you learned a new word today, please make sure to subscribe so you can practice again tomorrow. Story written by Gemini. Image created by Gemini. To read, see all the stories' content in full, please go to www.steveuk.blog. Thank you. CC Music, drifting at 432 Hz, Unicorn Heads.